Hey, Nixa Public Schools, Dr. Kopp here, and I wanted to share a little bit about some of the things that will look differently when our kids come back to school this year. Two of the main things we are going to focus on when our kids come back is sanitization for our hands and also physical distancing. And so you'll actually see one of these hand sanitizers in every classroom from pre-K all the way up to 12th grade. And so when our kids come to school, time to sanitize. When our kids head to lunch, time to sanitize. When our kids get back from lunch, time to sanitize. We are going to be encouraging hand sanitizing all day long. And hopefully that will provide a nice level of protection for our students. Another thing that will be a little different for our students this year is having more space in our classrooms. Our teachers and administrators are looking at ways to create space in their classrooms. They will be trying their very best to develop physical distancing in each classroom. However, in some places where maybe there are tables, you may see dividers or barriers that will be set up to provide another layer of protection for our students. So a couple of things, simple things that we'll be doing, but I think things that will have a big impact on keeping our kids safe. We believe that with all of us working together, this school year has great promise. And now your principal will share more information about what's happening at your building.
Welcome back, JTSD families. We are so excited for the 2021 school year, and while it's going to be a different kind of school year and a different start, we can assure you that your child is still going to receive the best education possible, and that the teachers and staff at JTSD will do all we can to ensure the safety of your and the learning of your child. Wanted to talk to you just a little bit about what school at JTSD will look like during this COVID pandemic. And we've just added some safety precautions. So the first and foremost thing that you can do is have a mask and also wear it properly. So make sure it's covering the nose and the mouth. And as Dr. Loden has said, we're going to be doing masks on the move. Anytime that we cannot socially distance between the 3 to 6 feet, masks will be required by both staff and students. One other change will be our arrival and dismissal procedures. So normally here at the front, we have several families that will walk and drop their child off at the front or pick them up and congregate. And we're doing everything we can to make sure that we limit those larger groups. So you will have two options for dropping off your child in the morning. One is use the bus, or two, please use a car line, and we will have plenty of supervision in car line and in bus lane to ensure the safety of your child. As soon as they get out of the car, though, make sure they have their masks on. When they enter the building, the first thing they're going to do is stop at our hand sanitizing station, and rather than go outside to recess or congregate in large groups, they are going to go straight to the classroom at this time. This will give them a great, as I call, a soft start to their day. Gives them a chance to sanitize, to wipe down their Chromebooks, to get their supplies out, and just have a great start to their day. I know that while it may be difficult to wear a mask, it's a small thing that we can do to stop the spread and ensure that we can have more days here at school. And so we're going to really work to wear the mask properly at all times when we can't socially distance. Let's talk about different spots around the building. For one, the cafeteria. The cafeteria holds a lot of students, and to try and socially distance, we can hold about 75 students in there at a time. So we're going to rotate on a daily basis about 2 grade levels in the cafeteria at a time. Otherwise, they will be in the classroom eating. So we're going to really try and limit that large group exposure. And hopefully the weather in the fall will be nice and they could even have a picnic style outside. So hand washing is going to be another huge thing. We've got sinks in the classrooms, in the restrooms, lots of hand sanitizer, and we're just going to really practice those good hygiene. We had great success when we were able to come back in June, and like I said, our students are resilient and they're going to do a great job with this. Some of you might be wondering, safety in the classrooms. We are going to do our very best that we can to have students be socially distanced at the appropriate 3 to 6 feet. There will be times, though, that they can't, and that's why the mask is going to be so important. A lot of learning takes place at what I would call at the carpet, a mini lesson from the teacher. Students would wear their masks down to the carpet. We have ordered, and hopefully they will arrive in time for school, but we have ordered partitions at our tables, because here at JTSD we mainly have tables, and to try and make sure that we have them appropriately spaced out, these partitions will allow us to still have 4 at a table and in a safe place so that they could take their mask off while they're doing some independent work. So we're going to do everything that we can to keep them safe, lots of hand washing, hand sanitizer, and mask wearing when we can't socially distance. Just a little bit about our dismissal procedures. As with arrival, having only the car line and only bus, we do ask that you continue that for dismissal. So with our car line, we're going to do something that we did in June, and it was really helpful. One of us, most likely me, will be out calling cars with their name. So it's very important that you have your child's name and teacher on the visor or some sort of sign in your car. Leave that up the entire way through, because Mr. Mon or someone else is on the railing and they are also looking at that. So please keep it up all the way through the car line. And what we're doing in the classroom, so that we do not have students in large groups, students that are car riders will remain in their classroom, and we have the technology, it's kind of a Google Hangout, where the name will actually come up on their smart board. So students can look for their name and walk safely in the hallway with their mask on out to the car. And bus as well, students will walk to the bus lane, have their masks on, and be walked to the bus. So any questions about arrival or dismissal, feel free to reach out. Another thing that is at the heart of what we do at JTSD would be a lot of our clubs. And right now we're going to wait the first 9 weeks before we have any clubs, and we'll reevaluate that then. We do want to make sure that when we start back that we are doing so slowly, and so not to have large groups together. So the first quarter of school, there will not be any clubs, there will not be any music performances or large PTA events. However, we are still going to be creative in ways that we can showcase what our students are doing. Maybe our music class, they can send out a performance to you through email or a video. We're still going to try our best to include that parent involvement, even though unfortunately we cannot have visitors at this time. And we really appreciate your understanding, your flexibility, and grace that you will give to us this year. It's going to be an unusual year for sure, but it's still going to be an amazing year. Some of you may have questions about attendance, and the best thing we can do is have our students here at school and have great attendance. However, these are unusual times, and we do ask that you read the parent commitments and help us, partner with us to ensure that your child is healthy to come to school. Make sure that they do not have a fever or any of the COVID symptoms. And if they do, please stay home. Contact Nurse Heather. She is just a phone call away and will be a great resource for you. But while we think school attendance is critical, during this time, we want our students to be healthy when they come to school. Whether you have chosen to be a virtual student or a seated student, communication is still a very important part of what we do here at JTSD. Our teachers will do their very best to communicate with you often. From me, you will receive an email at least monthly with up-to-date information. So make sure that you have updated all of your information on the NICSA registration, and that we have a smooth start to our school year and that everybody is communicating effectively. We know this is a difficult time, and we really appreciate the partnership that we have, and together we're going to make this school year the best it can be.